It depends what you do with it. If it's designed from the start to be a purely an online experience, I guess, there's still great ways to promote it. It's essentially where you place it and how, and as far as promotion, it depends on your demographics, on your target audience, on what the subject matter is, but there are always ways to promote it only online, you know what I mean? I'm sure it's not just sort of, you have to have a TV component or on-screen component. You know, people doing it, it's just, the format is, I think that's where the question is. How, it's not a, I haven't seen anybody create a complete sort of platform where the content flows both ways. It's either one way, like TV-like essentially, or something where you can contribute, but it's not being represented back at you with the second component, sort of. So that's, I think, would be the challenge, to create this complete ecosystem where content flows both ways, sort of, you know. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, no, I mean, George is right in that respect. You've got to answer your question as far as how I feel. TV is an important part of the process. So is print media. So is billboards. So is social marketing. So is, I mean, it's all elements of the same machine. I don't think those elements are going to go away. I just think how those elements come together are going to change. Broadcast is not going to be separate from interactive. I think, eventually broadcast and interactive are going to be synonymous as far as working together. I don't think there's going to be that line, down the corridor between the interactive department and the broadcast department. You look at companies like Glassbox, for instance. Glassbox they're a web-based channel. They have, I think, 2 channels right now. One is Ox and one is Byte. Now, everything they do online is going to be available through Rogers, I think, in a few months. The type of program they do is going to be pushed there. It's going to be pushed to mobile. It's pushed everywhere. So it's a single they're selling a single story, but pushing it out to multiple platforms. And I think the only difference that's going to come later is the fact that those platforms are all going to be running on the same type of system. Whether you've got an iPhone or Android or BlackBerry device that you can view it on, whether it's going to be a native player, whether it's going to be, it doesn't matter what which one you access, you turn on, you're still going to have a 50-inch flat screen television in your living room, but what it's going to be is you're going to be accessing the same content you could on your iPod. We're going to be consuming that content on the go. We're going to be consuming that content at home. We're going to be consuming it when you're sitting in front of your desktop computer. I think it's just that technology is becoming one, and we're just going to tell the story across many platforms. And you still need those access points in order to push it out there. I mean, you still need to be able to pick up a magazine when you're in a doctor's office and see an article, but instead of tune into Channel 9 to see Flashpoint, you're going to be, it says log on to and choose when you want to see it, but it's still available. So you still need those other advertising mediums to get it out there, because we're not all sitting in front of a screen all the time. There are other influencers. We're still going to see a bus drive by and promote something, but instead of pushing us to a TV channel, it's going to push us to a website, and on that website is going to be the content that they can view, in the big screen, the small screen, or any other kind of platform that happens to be out in the next 5 to 10 years. I think that's what we're going to see. But all those components are important to make it work. You can't just build it and hope they come. You have to aggressively market, the same way they do with television, the same way with print. It all has to be, marketing is the key. And I think that's where that's when monetization is going to come in. Is when when advertisers can see, okay, we can market everything here. Everything is pushed there. It's not diluted, and we're going to be able to view our content on all these platforms. But it's going to be singular content. But it's going to be enriched content. It's going to be, you're going to be able to turn the television on and you're going to be able to interact with that show in whatever way that's made available to you. It could be that maybe it's live comments, maybe it's play a game of some description that lets you actually take a role in that particular show. it's going to be, I think the audience is going to be becoming part of the show in many respects. And we've seen reality TV where the audiences are voting and they're directing the outcome of that show. Maybe it's going to get more involved in that way. I mean, I don't know where that's going yet, but I can see us pushing towards that direction.